Hey guys, good morning. Happy Friday. So we were doing some division of decimals yesterday. I want to continue to do that because I know sometimes it can be a little bit, it's something new and dividing with decimals can be a little bit tricky. So what I want to do today is we're going to just do some straight division problems with decimals. We'll do ones with decimals in the divisor, some without. So the first one I want to do is if we have 9 divided by 1,034. Okay. Remember, the first thing you want to do always is move this decimal up to right here. Okay. Then it's going to be a straight division problem. We know 9 doesn't go into 1, but 9 goes into 10 one times. And then 1 times 9. Then we just do a subtraction. 10 minus 9 is 1. And remember, they always bring the next number down. Then it's 13. 9 goes into 13 one time. Then the 1 times the 9. And then what we do is bring 1 times 9. That's going to be 4. We bring this 4 down. Then it's 44. And 9 goes into the 44 4 times. Then 4 times 9 is 36. And basically, what this one would do if we say round to the nearest hundredth, or the nearest, round to nearest hundredth. What that means, we're just going to round to this place right here, this 1. And that 4 is less than 5, so we're not going to round it up. So basically, your answer would be 0.11. Okay? Because you can keep going, but this number is going to go on. So if we're going to say round to the nearest hundredth. Okay? Now let's do one here that basically is a little bit different. So if we have 0.73 into, we'll say 84. Okay. What we are going to need to do is we got to get rid of this decimal right here. So we want to move it over 2 places. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to multiply both times 100. So that 73 is going to go there. And then we need to add 2 zeros on here because we're basically adding or multiplying times 100. 84 times 100 is 8,400. So we want to always get rid of that decimal when it's out here in the divisor, okay? So we want to move that over 2 places, so we're going to multiply times 100. If we multiply the outside number by 100, we have to multiply the inside number by 100, okay? So what that's going to look like then is 73 into 8,400, okay? And then the 73 will go into that once. 1 times 73, that's going to be 1, 1. We want to bring this down. And then we know it's going to go 1 time again, and then it's going to be 1 times 73. 10, that's 7. So that's going to be, did I do that right? 37, yep. And then what we would do is we'd bring another 0 down. And 73 goes into 370, let me see, 5 times. That's 15, carry the 1, 35, 36, yep. So basically we would have 115. Okay, there's still a remainder of 5, so you could do with the remainder of 5. Okay. So remember, we always got to get rid of basically that. If we have the decimal out here, we always have to move it, maybe 1 place is 2 places, okay? Sometimes 3. So you're going to either multiply by 10 if we want to move it 1 place. If we have to move it 2 places, you're going to multiply it by 100. In a rare instance, you have to move it 3 places, and you're going to multiply times 1,000. Okay, let's do another one here. Let's do 2 into 48.9. Okay, so there's no decimal out here, so we don't have to worry about that. But remember, we want to move this decimal straight up. Okay, then we just do 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. That's going to be 0. We bring down the 8. 2 goes into 8 4 times. Then we do 4 times 2 is 8. That's going to be 0. Then we want to bring the 9 down. And 2 goes into 9 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8. And then we can just add another 0, bring that down. And 2 goes into 10 5 times. So that would be 24.45. Okay. So this one, it didn't have a decimal out in the divisor. But remember, the key thing is always moving that decimal up. Okay. So let's do one with the divisor with a decimal in it, okay? Just so you, so if we have 9.4 divided by, I got to move that down a little bit so we have some room. Oops, excuse me. If we have 9.4 divided by 45. Okay, well, we see this decimal right here, so we got to move it 1 place. So we're going to multiply both times 10. So that's going to be 94, and this now becomes 450, okay? So it's 94 into 450. And you don't have to, but we'll put a decimal here and add a 0. That way we're going to bring the decimal up. Because we're not sure if it's going to go in evenly, so you can always add a 0. It's not changing the number. We can add 4 zeros if we want to. It's not going to change the 450, okay? Remember to bring the decimal up, which we did there. Then 95 goes into 450 4 times. Okay. And that would be 376. And then what do we get from that? We get 4, 7, and that's 0. So we bring down another 0. Now, how many times does 94 go into 740? We're going to go 7 times, and that's 658. And you're going to have 82 left over. And if you wanted to, you could bring this 0 down. And then 94 would go into that, I think, 8 times. And that then is 32, carry the 3, so that's 72, 75. 10 minus 8 is 8. That's 6. And you can keep going. But for basically what we're going to do here, you're going to say 4.78. Okay. Because what it might say is going to say round to the nearest, this one, I'd say the nearest 10th. So it just wants you to go 2 places. Okay. And if we round it to the 10th, that would be this 7 right here. And the 8 is bigger than 5. So if we round to this nearest 10th, it'd be 4.8. Okay, because this 8 in the hundredths place is bigger than 5, so we'd round that 7 up. And we talked about that a little bit in rounding. Okay. So one thing too, you guys, just I asked you to round this to the nearest whole number, okay, the whole number would be to the left of the decimal. And then we look at this 7. The 7 is greater than 5, so this 4 would become a 5 if I asked you to round it to the whole number. Okay, because sometimes that's what it might say on the test. It says round to the nearest whole number. And in this case, you would see 4.7. it's closer to 5, then it's closer to 4 because of that 7, so we'd round up to the 5. But if this number here was like, say it was 4.4, it would be 4 then because the 4 is less than the 5. Okay, so you just have to kind of look what really the question's asking for, because we could keep dividing out until we got 0. Sometimes it asks for a remainder, and then if you have a remainder, nearest 10th with the remainder, and then the remainder would be like nearest 100th, the 68 would be the remainder. Okay, so I'm going to post some practice. Just keep in mind what it's looking for. The sheet I had, we were just doing this was nearest whole number. So I want to go back to the first one we did. So if I did 9 into 1, let me 0.034. So this is saying round, solve each problem, round your number to the nearest whole number. So 9, this one would be 1. Remember, it's point, so it's 0.1. 9 goes in there 1 time. 1 times 9 is 9. Bring the 4 down. We brought this 3 down. Now we bring the 4 down, and it's 5. So we did 3 spots. So the rounding to the nearest whole number. Okay, so when we round, we're going to look at this tenths place, really. And that's less than 5. So it's going to seem a little bit weird, but the answer they're looking for, if it said round to the nearest whole number, would be 0, because this tenths place is less than 5. So remember, for the rounding, if it's 5 or more, we round up. If it's 4 or less, we round down. So we see this 1 is a key number right here. That number is less than 5, so we're going to round down. And when we round down to the nearest whole number, the whole number would be over here, so it's going to be 0. And it seems a little bit odd, but that's what it's asking for. It says round to the nearest whole number. I just did some examples of moving the decimal over so you guys get familiar with that. But if the question's asking for round to the nearest whole number, the answer would actually be 0. Okay, because 0.115 basically rounding to the nearest whole number would be 0. But if this number right here, where the arrow is, let's say if that was 5, if it was 0.515, it asks you to round to the nearest whole number. Since it's 5 or more, the answer then would be 1, because we'd round up. Okay, so I'm going to stop there for today. I will post some practice. Just make sure we read the directions and see exactly whether it's asking to round to the whole number, nearest 10th, nearest 100th, whatever it may be, okay? Because sometimes you don't need to find the whole answer. You just have to find what the question's asking for, whether it's whole number, round to the nearest 10th, round to the nearest 100th, okay? All right, you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I will talk to you all next week. Bye.